Ms. Robinson, you're back in court today because you say your mother, Ms. Harms, has continued to commit paternity fraud. She's now claiming her ex-boyfriend, Mr. Long, is your biological father, but you believe she's lying.
Yes.
Ms. Harms, you say your daughter's suit has no merit, and today you will prove Mr. Long is her father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Long is here, but like you, Ms. Robinson has strong doubts about your paternity. We'll meet in a few moments, but first let's take a look at your previous court appearance.
I hope he is my daddy. I really do. Because I really need a dad. I really, really do.
I've always told her who her dad was. It's not Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore, you are not her father.
Oh my God. Dude, who is my daddy?
I have to tell you, he ain't your dad. But no, I'm lying. So let's go get the other one and come right back here and do this again. I'll tell you.
Jerome, will you please escort Mr. Long into the courtroom?
Mr. Long, watch your step.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Long. Ms. Robinson, I want to start with you. Why do you believe your mother has committed paternity fraud?
Your Honor, I feel that my mother has been committing paternity fraud my whole life. I've never got a straight answer on who my father is. It was one or two guys, two or three guys, you know, no certain name. I'm too old for this.
Excuse me, Your Honor, that's a lie.
So
I've always told her who her father was.
No, you haven't.
I've always, and I never kept any secrets from you.
Mom, you never told me who my father was.
My mom kept secrets.
You gave me names of who could be my father.
I've always told you from birth, sweetheart, that who your dad was.
You did not, Mom.
Your Honor, she refuses to believe me, as like she did with Mr. Moore previously.
And so, Ms. Harms, you said you told her from the beginning.
Yes,
who
Your
her
Honor.
father is.
Yes, Your Honor.
And who is that person?
Mr. Long, Your Honor.
Why would she not want to believe you if she's looking for her father?
I don't know why she wouldn't believe me.
Because she lies a lot.
I know I have not lied.
Because I'm 36 years old and nobody really gave me a name of who my father
Your Honor,
is.
she said I lied last time.
You
and
did.
I was proven to be right.
That was just luck that he wasn't my father.
It wasn't luck. It wasn't luck.
It was luck.
It wasn't luck.
Yes, it was.
You can't just look at a person
because that was your
boyfriend, big eyes
boyfriend.
and gray hair, and assume that's your father.
It doesn't have to do with big eyes and gray hair. He always told me he was my father. He was your boyfriend.
Well, I'm gonna make you happy today because Your Honor, I'm here today.
Good, because guess what? If you don't make me happy today, I have nothing else to say to you.
Ms. Robinson, I would like you to take a moment and just walk your mother through and talk to her about how difficult it's been not knowing who your father is and, more importantly, having to go through various men and find out that they're not.
Yeah, the journey has been very hard.
Let her speak, Ms. Harms, and then I will let you speak.
Me in school, doing sports, basketball, softball, volleyball, never nobody showing up to my games, sitting there, all my friends got parents there, I have nobody. I had a baby at 18 and one at 20. It has not been a day that I have not been there for my children 1,000%, not 100. And I know who their fathers is because I wasn't promiscuous. And nobody could talk me out of my panties. I was with those, that's it.
I'm not gonna sit there and let her say that about me. I'm not cheesy like that. What do you mean talk me out of my panties?
But you let people talk. You
don't act like you weren't out there doing wrong yourself.
I never did wrong.
Okay?
I needed a father. When
you're listening now. You're on listening
when me and you didn't have a good relationship, it would have been times where I wouldn't have went in my room and said, I hate my mom. I wish she wasn't here. I can't stand her. If I had a father to run to, I could have got over that. But instead, I've always held hate and resentment against you. I mean, and I'm a student with straight A's, the best athlete. Everybody knows me where I'm from. I mean, I was that deal. But I have this bad secret, and I gotta be that deal out in the streets, but go in the house and sit in the bathroom and cry. You know what's sad.
So you're this celebrated athlete. Everybody knows who you are.
Yes.
And you're holding this secret in, that you don't know who your father is. Now, Ms. Harms, I want you to respond to your daughter. I'm not sure how well you listened.
She's always had a dad.
I'm not sure how well you listened.
Maybe not her dad at that time.
Ms. Harms.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not sure how well you listened. Did you hear her?
Yes, but I'm trying to...
Now respond to what she said.
It's difficult talking to her because she acts like she's my mom half the time.
I'm giving you your moment.
The way she talks to me. Maybe she choose a better choice of words talking to me.
What? Because every time
Hold on, let her
you're a
respond.
liar.
Let her respond.
I would just
Let her
ask
respond.
you. I
Let her
would just
respond.
ask you who my
See what
dad
I'm saying?
is.
I can never get a word in.
Who my
That's why I
dad
don't
is.
try to
Well,
help.
neither one of you let the other one get a word in,
That's
and
right.
that's why we're not getting
That's right.
anywhere. Ladies, I know there is a lot at stake here, and I know this is emotional.
Yes,
I know
ma'am.
it is. It's hard.
Yeah.
And, you know, Ms. Harms, you stand here and say, you know, I've told my daughter from the beginning who her father is, she just didn't want to believe me. What's upsetting you right now in this moment?
The
Ms.
fact that she sits there and lies.
What
And if
lie
I got to
is
raise her-
she telling?
If I didn't raise her, she wouldn't have or be who she is today.
You didn't give me to. I know
guess
exactly.
that's just like pretty much
a
everything
person
you have,
who's
I've
strong
given
because
you.
they took care of themselves.
Pretty much
Okay.
everything she has, I've given her. Every time I
No.
get any new furniture, anything, I give everything
That's just
to
you giving me stuff.
Any
I didn't
amount of
ask
money you
for it,
wanna
though.
borrow
Ms.
from me, I
Robinson?
give it to
I didn't
you.
never ask
Ms.
you.
I've
Robinson.
always had her back. So she can sit here and lie as long as she wants. But today, Your Honor, the truth will be revealed.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Ladies, what I see here is there's so much at stake. Not just finding out who your father is, that's
I'm a
important,
my kids
but
are
your
like that.
relationship with your mother.
Yes.
And like you said,
We
you
don't
have
have
children.
one.
That's their grandmother.
We don't
Yes.
have one.
That's your fault, though.
No, it ain't. She get mad at me. She won't let me see my granddaughters or my great-grandson.
You never
That's
let me
wrong
see my
of you.
daddy, though. I
You
never
always
saw
knew
my
who he
grandparents.
was. You're 37
Who?
years old.
I didn't even
Listen
hear
on.
about him until I was 10.
What, you act like you couldn't have went? I told you always knew who your dad was.
Where was I gonna
You knew
go
we were
at
in
10
Georgia,
years old?
Marietta. You knew he lived next door.
You
to-
see how she puts
to my
adult
brother.
stress?
Ms. Harms, are you
Child.
suggesting that a 10-year-old child was supposed to go
I
around the
was
corner and
taking
ring
her-
the doorbell?
She was a baby. I would go there and visit. I would knock on Mr. Long's door.
he would've saw
and
me
take
there.
her over there every time we went, every summer.
Ms. Robinson, do you remember
knows
going to
that.
visit Mr. Long?
Never.
Mr. Long, do you remember Ms. Harms bringing Ms. Robinson to see you and saying this is your father?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever seen Ms. Robinson?
No, ma'am. She says that she came to see me, but I don't recall that.
Did you
where's
think
all
you
these
were her
men at?
biological father?
It was possible because, you know, it was said, and then she sent a picture to my mom.
Like
A year.
Okay, Your Honor, gave him, Mr. Long, 9 photos of her ever since she was growing
Well,
up.
that's
Your
why,
Honor.
Ms. Harms, I want you to allow someone to testify because his testimony was corroborating with your
Thank you,
statement
ma'am.
that you reached out.
Thank
so
you,
see,
ma'am.
that's why we on listening station.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm listening.
Mr. Long, you said she sent you pictures?
She sent me a picture when she was first born, a year after she
So
was
when
born.
she was first born, she sent you a picture.
Right.
So why does a woman send you a picture of a baby if she's not saying you the father?
Right, she didn't say I wasn't the father. She said I was the father, but I had doubt because, you know, she was supposed to be sleeping with someone else in my family, which was a cousin.
In the family.
Supposedly now.
I
And then
ain't
some
never
more guys in the neighborhood. So
Supposedly.
that's where the doubt came in.
So Mr. Long does state that what you said was true. He did receive a picture.
Yes, ma'am, but he
You
left a
did
whole
reach
lot of
out to him.
detail out too, Your Honor.
What other parts of the details did
I
he leave
sent
out?
8 pictures and you sitting there acting like I never brought that
I
baby
don't-
over to your
I
house
don't
every day.
I don't recall.
Yeah,
that.
you're nothing but a bold-faced liar.
You said you brought the baby over to
Yes,
his house.
ma'am. Every time we went down every summer to visit my grandma and papa.
I don't recall that, Judge.
No, because that brain is old.
And you would bring the baby.
don't recall.
Hold on, one at a time. So you would come see him.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
his family?
Yes, Your Honor. Walk right in the kitchen, they cooking up collard greens and everything.
Does your family know about Jennifer, Miss Robinson?
They've heard
Oh,
of
God, here
Jennifer.
we go.
They've
They
seen
never
a
meet
picture
me.
of Jennifer. But as far as knowing Jennifer and conversating with Jennifer, they never have.
So you knew she was pregnant.
Crazy.
I knew she was pregnant.
And then after she had the baby,
Afterwards.
did she say you're the father?
Right, she did say that.
So then why was there no follow-up? That's what she's been saying this entire day is that I said Mr. Long was the father.
The follow-up was I couldn't contact her. I didn't know her last name anymore.
You knew. You're
never
sitting up
tried to
here
help
in
me
denial
find
and
Jennifer.
lying.
Hold on, so Ms. Harms, I want to understand this from you. Why did you disappear? When you were taking the baby, you say you were taking the baby over there and he acknowledges that you at least sent pictures.
And Your Honor-
Did you feel rejected? Why did you just
Rejected.
disappear?
I kept it like that because my dad was like, me being young, who's the dad? I'm gonna kill him. And I kept it to myself.
You as a young girl, you were taking the baby over to his house or you were sending these pictures, but this was all in secret.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you didn't want to tell your
Oh my God.
You didn't want to tell your
The family never
parent.
told me that
I
he
told
was
my mother.
dad,
I
Mom.
kept it from my dad.
You
at
didn't
all.
tell your dad,
Yes,
but you told
Your
your
Honor.
mother.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson, you say you've been told various names. You've been given various names, but never
Never.
Mr. Long.
I never heard of Mr. Long until I was 10 years old. I walked past her in the kitchen. She looked at my body and she stopped me. She said, Jennifer, I got to tell you something. She said, the way you're looking, the way your body's looking, I got to tell you that when I was younger, I went to Marietta, Georgia, and I slept with a boy named Anthony Long. She said, your body look like theirs. You look like his sister. Of course, I blew that off because I look like him, and him. Like
So
that.
from 10
It's
years
Mr.
old, Ms.
Long.
Robinson, once you hear this, you said you had been told so many things. At that point, you just blew it off and kept moving.
Because I didn't have a dad anyway. Nobody, everybody claimed me.
Did you
Even
think
Mr.
about
Moore.
Mr. Long?
Did I think about him? Yeah, I always wondered, I wonder if he does look like me. But of course, I couldn't get any contact with him.
But you said you were caught up in a web because every other man in your life was claiming you as something.
Yes.
Your Honor, she had a father. It may have not been her biological father, but my mom and dad raised him till I got
Four.
on my feet out of the
Four.
Army, and I came and got you when I was able to take care of you.
And nobody really took care
And
of
Your
me,
Honor,
though.
may I present my evidence?
Yes.
You, ma'am, please.
Take a breath, Ms. Harms. This evidence that you are presenting, Ms. Harms, is a picture
Yes, ma'am.
of your daughter,
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Robinson, and Mr. Long.
Looking like everybody. I look like all the men.
Yeah, to you. Oh, everybody got big eyes.
No, ain't
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
it.
Ms. Harms,
know,
your
at the
family
end of the
told-
day, when she doesn't know, she's just looking for herself in every man. She's just looking for herself.
Well, Your Honor, she gonna stop.
The man said, I'm your father.
She's gonna stop looking today, Your Honor.
Because you are confident,
Yes.
beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Mr. Long is your daughter's biological
Honor.
father. Mr. Long, after today's testimony, seeing the evidence presented here today,
Look at that.
do you believe you are Miss Robinson's biological father?
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's a possibility.
When I got the first picture of her, she looked like my daddy to me. So naturally, I said, well, it could be my daughter. But then I lost contact with her, with the mother,
And he looks like my grandson.
until today.
That's what's blowing me away. The ears, the cleft chin, the nose, the lips, the head. I mean,
It's all
I'm
there.
standing here like.
Can I do this?
But of course I can't believe it, you know, because I don't deserve anything, so I can't believe that he looks like me.
I'm here today, Your Honor, to try to fill that void and that hole in her heart so she can be at peace.
Because I ain't. And I got a
Well,
lot
if
of
you
hate
didn't
for
have
you.
so much mouth, maybe
It
somebody
has
could
nothing
deal with
to
you.
do with you let me know who my daddy is. Without
you
me
Let's
either
just
world.
stop right there, because you all just alike. You mother and daughter, all right? Because
Yep,
both of
we
you
sure
all,
are.
you all,
I can clap
you
it.
all both got mouths on you. You both got to have the last word.
That's right.
So that you all are just alike. But the only way we're really going to move forward today is to get these results. Mm-hmm. And I have them for you. Jerome?
They
Thank
come
you.
out right.
I hope so too for you.
We know that there's a lot at stake.
If not, I'm gonna keep going. I shouldn't have to keep going after Miss Long,
I hope.
but I'm just gonna do whatever to make you happy. 'Cause I love you.
Ms. Harms, you just said to your daughter, if not, you're going to keep going. Do you have a question in your mind as to
No,
whether?
ma'am.
Because you seem sure.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Let's get the truth. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Robinson versus Long, when it comes to 36-year-old Jennifer Robinson, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Long, you are her father.
I told you I love you so much. Okay, go hug your dad. Okay, now you're be a hole. You don't have a hole in your heart anymore. Your Honor, may I speak, please?
Couldn't find it.
This is the second.
Can your daughter talk to her daddy, please?
Yes, but
Okay, wait.
This is the
We
second-
already know you was right. Now, Ms. Robinson. Ms. Robinson,
yes, thank
there's your daddy. You've been looking for him. I don't know how in the world you all still got your places across the aisle. Don't you want to hug your daughter?
All right, baby. I got you now.
Right. I can't believe it.
You can go stand with her.
Oh,
Ms. Robinson,
Yes, Your Honor.
this is a beautiful day for you.
It is.
I'm so happy for
My
you.
kid's gonna be so happy.
Do you have daughters?
Yes.
Yep.
Then that means you want to make sure that your daughters and their daughters don't repeat this.
Yes.
Mr. Clark, you're here to prove to Ms. Bolden that you are the biological father of her 3-year-old daughter, LaKearney Clark. And once the DNA results prove you're right, you want to be able to spend more time with your daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bolden, you say that you've always told Mr. Clark he was not your daughter's father and hope that once these results are revealed, the real biological father, Mr. Moore, who will enter the court in a moment, will step up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Clark, why are these results so important to you?
Because it's a little child's life at stake, and my life is at stake too. And she's everything to me. She's my princess, and I really care about her.
And so you are convinced that you are, in fact, the father. But you say, Ms. Bolden, that's not the case.
No, ma'am.
So explain.
One day we had an argument about bills, as usual, about his half on the bills. He stormed out the door, so I stormed out the door too. I called Mr. Moore, and we got a hotel room. And that night I had sex with Mr. Moore, and that's the night I think I conceived.
And so you were dating Mr. Clark.
Right.
Got the argument, you stormed out, then you cheated with Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Clark, while all of this was going on, you believed you were the father all along?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you ever giving any indication that you were not?
No, Your Honor.
So when you found out she was pregnant, you immediately said, "This is my child."
Yes, Your Honor. I had no doubts.
You went to doctor's appointments?
No, Your Honor.
You didn't. Were you at the hospital when the baby was born?
After, Your Honor.
After. Did you sign the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me see that, Jerome, please. And so, Ms. Bolden, all this is going on, and he's signing the birth certificate, and he thinks this is his child, and you know, in your mind, you say that it's not?
Yes.
So during your pregnancy, during the child's birth, did you ever say anything, give a hint?
Yes, ma'am. We had got into it one day about the bills as usual. My 7 months pregnant, I went to the doctor and got an ultrasound for my baby. And when I came home, I showed him the ultrasound, and I showed it to him, and then I told him he might not be the father.
Do you remember that conversation, Mr. Clark?
Yes, Your Honor.
So she did say you may not be the father.
This was after we separated.
But this was before LaKearney was born, right?
This was after she was born that I found this, that she started saying that LaKearney wasn't mine.
She just said it's when she had an ultrasound.
No. This was after she gave birth to LaKearney.
So you had no clue until afterwards.
Right.
Ms. Bolden, you're saying that you told him specifically before.
Yes, I did.
So at what point did you tell the other man that he was a possibility?
He already knew. He never had doubts of my baby. He always said he just wanted the DNA test with her to prove that he is the father.
So, Mr. Clark, did you know there was another man that she was talking about a DNA test with?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did?
Yes, Your Honor.
So at what point did you find this out?
During the relationship, I knew she cheated on me and did all of this, but like I said, I had no doubt that she was my daughter. I always felt like that. No doubt in my mind whatsoever.
So when she was born, you started a relationship with her. You became her father.
I had a bond, Your Honor.
And you had a bond.
Right.
You still have a bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Bolden, while you're seeing this bond develop, and you know in your mind that there's another possibility, are you reminding Mr. Clark?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Oh. So now you're just letting him go on and believe that LaKearney is his child?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because I really didn't want to hurt his feelings anymore about my baby might not be his.
And so at what point did you decide to say, I gotta tell him. I have to tell him.
My baby was like 1 year old.
And what did you say?
I told him there is a possibility that my baby might not be his.
So what made you say that?
Just looking at my baby, she don't look like him. Like, she has no similarities to him, period.
So you felt like as she grew and developed, you just didn't see a similarity?
No, ma'am, I didn't.
So now, Mr. Clark, do you remember that day?
Yes, Your Honor. This was after we broke up.
LaKearney was born, though.
Right, she was
but
born.
But, Ms. Bolden, now let me be clear. You said you told him before?
Yes, I did.
After the ultrasound, and then you brought it up again when LaKearney was 1,
yes,
right?
Ma'am.
So now we're at the instance when she's 1 year old.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what did she say, Mr. Clark, exactly?
I mean, we stayed arguing all the time. You know, she made statements, I guess just to hurt me, that she wasn't mine, but yet and still, I had no doubt in my mind that little girl is mine. I always felt like she was my daughter, and I feel like this still. Whenever me and LaKearney meet, it's magical. You know what I'm saying? And she's very happy when she sees me.
He's like that because you the only person she knows.
So now that you've told the other man, Mr. Moore, has he developed any type of relationship with LaKearney?
He wants to be involved. He just said he needs a DNA test to prove that he is the father. He barely comes around because he don't know where I stay and he don't know my number. Only time he can contact me is on Facebook.
So if he's your daughter's father, why is it, if there's a possibility he is, why is it he doesn't have any way to contact you?
Because I'm always changing my number. Like, I change my number like 3 times out of a month.
You do?
Yes.
Why?
Because certain people have my number and I don't want them having my number, so I just changed my number.
But if this man could be your child's father, how can they keep up with their child?
Well, actually, they know where my brother stayed. They know where my grandma lives at. I be over there checking on her sometimes, but I just don't want them having my number.
So, Ms. Bolden, does Mr. Clark have your number and does he get to see LaKearney?
Only time he get to see her is when she's at my sister's house. No, he don't have my number, and no, he don't know where I stay. His attitude towards me is so terrible, so I try not to deal with him on any type of level.
All right, so you all have been having a lot of trouble getting along.
Right.
So, Mr. Clark, as I look at your face, it seems like you really hurt about this.
I am, Your Honor. I feel devastated. It's unexplainable right now. I mean, I don't know what I'd do if I found out LaKearney wasn't mine. I don't know what I'd do.
So you're here today and you're truly hoping that this little girl is yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
So now, this other father, does he want to be a father too? Does he want to be involved?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you in a relationship with him at all?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Jerome, I want to meet this other possible father. Can you please escort Mr. Moore in? Mr. Moore, thank you for being here. We're here discussing the paternity as it relates to LaKearney. Do you believe you're this child's biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
You do?
Yes.
Why do you believe that?
I believe that because she looks just like me and my son, Your Honor.
So you see a strong resemblance?
Yes.
Think she looks like you?
Yes.
So now, do you want to be her father? You want to be there for her?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
How involved have you been in her life?
Not that much.
So if you want her to be your child and you think she's your child, why are you not involved in her life?
Because she don't bring her around. It's hard to keep up with her.
Well, we've heard testimony that would validate that for certain. She says she changes her number. So, Ms. Bolden, let me hear from your witness. Please stand up, ma'am. State your name.
Wanda Moore.
Who are you related to in this situation?
Billy Moore. That's my brother.
This is your brother?
Yes, ma'am.
But you're standing with Ms. Bolden?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you know about this situation?
What I know is that's my niece.
You do?
Yes, ma'am. I know from day one that that little girl was my niece. I make sure she get things for her birthday. I just spend time with her. My kids know her. She know my son. You know,
And why are you so certain?
Cause she looks just like us. Nose, mouth, everything. She even act like us.
Ms. Bolden, you're allowing Ms. Moore to do these things for LaKearney, right?
Right.
You have her number?
No, ma'am.
On Facebook. We
I don't understand this, Jerome.
But I mean, I get through her on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you allow her to be a part of LaKearney's life in this way?
Yes, ma'am, because we get along.
Mr. Clark, when you hear about how she's allowing the Moore family to really take LaKearney in and accept her as their own, what does that make you feel like?
It upsets me. Like this past Christmas, you know, I don't work, you know what I'm saying, but I'm self-employed. I cut hair. I do tattoos from time to time. I took my hard-working money and bought LaKearney 2 gifts. You know, and I dropped them out to her house. She wasn't there this Christmas. I didn't get to see her. I got word that she had to open up her gifts on the porch because they were for me, and I feel like that was wrong.
Why would you do that, Ms. Bolden?
Yes, I left the gifts on the porch. Only reason why I got the gifts off the porch is because my baby sent them.
Just like on Facebook, I seen Mr. Moore holding a picture of LaKearney. It upset me. That's not your child. But she the one who posted the picture though. And she knew I was gonna see it, so she did that in spite just to hurt me to get at me.
I didn't know if you were gonna see it because you blocked on Facebook. Your mouth too
At that
fast.
time, I wasn't.
So you saw this picture on Facebook of Mr. Moore and the little girl you say is your daughter, but it's referring to Mr. Moore as daddy.
Right. I just can't do nothing but go through with it until I find out what's going on today.
So you've brought a witness as well. I'd like to hear from your witness. Please stand, ma'am. State your name.
Closet Moore.
And you're another Moore.
Yes.
Ms. Moore, you are?
Billy Moore's sister.
You are another one of Mr. Moore's sisters.
Yes.
But you're standing with Mr. Clark.
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you have to add to this?
Well, Your Honor, the reason why I'm here is because LaToya and Mr. Clark were staying together at the time that the baby was made, but she told my brother it was his baby as well. So we
she told me it wasn't mine.
Well,
then turned around and told me it was.
Well, she told him it wasn't his and turned around and told him it was, and that what got me with a little doubts that it's his baby, it's Mr. Clark's baby.
So you believe LaKearney is Mr. Clark's child?
Yes, Your Honor, a little bit.
You do?
Yes.
Because at first you're saying Ms. Bolden told Mr. Moore it was not his child.
Yes, ma'am. And that's why I got doubts. You know,
And
Ms. Clark was...
And LaKearney calls me daddy.
She called me dad, too.
Yeah. Yes.
Ms. Bolden, does she call both men daddy?
Yes, she do.
Is that confusing for her?
Yes, it is.
Wow. So, Ms. Bolden, are you hoping Mr. Clark is not the biological father?
Yes, ma'am.
Or do you truly believe he's not the biological father?
I truly believe he's not.
On our behalf, like I said, they were staying together, they had a relationship together. So that's why I say that, you know, it's Mr. Clark, baby, because they was in a relationship. But she looked just like us and everything, you know. I just want to know is my brother, baby.
And I just want to know the truth, too.
And I have that truth for you. Jerome, let's have the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Clark versus Bolden, when it comes to 3-year-old LaKearney Clark, and whether Mr. Clark or Mr. Moore is her biological father, It has been determined by this court that the biological father is Mr. Clark.
I knew it.
You do. You're very happy. That's good. Ms. Bolden,
Yes.
how do you feel?
I mean, I feel the same. It's no difference. And neither one of them in her life.
Do you want Mr. Clark to step up and play a bigger role in her life?
To be honest with you, you aren't a no. It's just we don't get along.
He does have a legal right to see his child. Wouldn't it be easier on LaKearney if you all could figure out some type of visitation and a way to work together?
Yes.
Do you want to work on that, Mr. Clark?
Yes, Your Honor, for the baby's sake.
Now, Ms. Moore, I see that you are very sad. You really, really hope that that was your niece.
Yep.
So you all have come to love her? She's your niece. Will you all still stay in her life?
You're
Yes.
not gonna leave her life.
Yes, I'm still gonna be there
Always
for
be in
her.
her life.
And so that means if we do this right, family, she could have an amazing village around her of people that love her. Miss Bolden, is it okay if Mr. Clark sees his little girl?
No, ma'am, it's not.
You just want him to pay.
Right.
Ms. Allen, you claim the defendant got you pregnant and now refuses to do anything for your 2-year-old daughter, Novella, who's been diagnosed with severe allergies, leaving you in financial and emotional distress. You claim today's DNA test will prove that he is Novella's father, and you need him to step up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Toliver, you and your girlfriend say you are 100% certain you are not her child's biological father and have evidence to support your claim. Ms. Allen, what has he done for your daughter?
Absolutely nothing, Honor.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Wow.
Has he paid any child support at all?
No, Your Honor.
Been involved in her life?
No, Your Honor.
Come to visit her?
No, Your Honor.
I have several reasons that I can prove that I'm not the father.
How?
Well, I mean,
What can you prove?
I've tried to get her to do a DNA test. For instance, just the other day, said she's not going to do the test.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you been avoiding the test, Ms. Allen?
No, I haven't not been avoiding the test.
Why haven't you taken it if he's volunteering?
He's the reason why. I honestly do not want to go take a test by myself with him. And he don't want to be around my family.
Wait a minute, now you laid down by yourself with him? Now you can't go and get a DNA test by yourself? I've never heard of such.
I just don't feel comfortable around him.
But you don't have to be present at the same time to get the DNA testing done.
She texts him saying that she misses him, and you know, I accidentally saw that. It was on Facebook Messenger that she missed him. So I don't know where she's getting this. She doesn't want to be with him. You know, it confuses me too. So
Whenever she breaks up or has a fight with her boyfriend, she comes back to me with acting like she wants to get back with me. She loves me and she misses me, but then when she's in a relationship, I don't hear anything from her. You know,
Wait, let me just go back first. Before we jump into this, I want to make sure I understand. You two were in a sexual relationship at some point,
yes.
am I correct?
Yes.
Was it during the window of time that Novella was conceived?
Yes, ma'am.
How long were you together?
In a couple months, not long. It wasn't a heavy, steady relationship. We weren't.
So you weren't committed?
Yeah, we was committed.
We seen each other on the weekends every now and again. It's not like we lived in different counties.
And so, well, you know, you can get someone pregnant that lives in a different county.
Yeah. Okay.
But were you using protection every time you were?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
But, okay, well, how we met on a dating site. And we had intercourse the first night we met. She also told me
Did you use protection?
No, ma'am. But she told me that the day before that her ex-boyfriend she just broke up with, they had intercourse that night. The night
No,
before.
I did not tell you that.
Okay, that's what you said.
No.
Okay, so the day you met her, she says, I had intercourse with my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend last night, and then you had intercourse with her that night.
Yes, we were having drinks and talking, and I don't want to hear about that. You know, I don't want to hear who you had sex with, but I mean, you know, alcohol does that. Alcohol opens people up. That's what she told me. And I mean, the first night we met, you know, we had sex, you know. I've heard that I'm not the only one that she's been like that with.
I understand, but Mr. Toliver, you do understand that if you were one of them, then you were one of the possible fathers.
Yes, but I mean, did she contact
Well, let me ask you this. If you've been informed that you possibly are this beautiful child's biological father, why is it you aren't pursuing the test or pursuing some form of relationship with this child?
I need to know that if it's mine or not. She give me every reason to believe it's not mine.
So your thing is the buck stops here until I figure out whether or not I am the father. You don't feel like you want to invest any time getting to know the child.
No, it's not that. I mean.
Well, what is it then? It's been 2 years.
Well, I mean, look, okay. She's told me that, you know, over the text messages and phone calls that this other guy here this is going to be Novella's father.
Wait. When did that come out?
This was when she was in the hospital. The guy in the hospital.
Let me see those,
with
please,
her.
Jerome.
And supposedly, you know, she's saying that, and it's on the Facebook. That
What are these pictures of, Mr. Toliver?
That's Miss Allen with the guy she was seeing at the time that she's telling me that.
So this is her in the hospital having birth, and that's the man there on the phone in the corner.
Her boyfriend, or she's telling me that that's going to be Novella's father.
When did she tell you this?
Right after the pregnancy.
So you weren't there on this day, the day she delivered?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Were you invited?
No, ma'am. How was I invited? Was she going to invite me and him? I mean, that makes no sense.
I told you that he did not have to be in the delivery room, that you could be in there. Yes, I did.
So wait a minute now, Miss Allen, you admit that you had moved on and started dating this gentleman.
Yes.
And you had invited him to the birth of Novella.
Yes.
Was he with you during the pregnancy?
We got together when I was 3 months pregnant, and he was there the whole time.
He was there the whole time?
Yes.
You told Mr. Toliver that this is Novella's father, or he used the words, this is going to be Novella's father?
I told him that he was going to raise her.
So your contention is that what you truly said was this is going to be her dad, meaning since you're not around and you don't want to be involved, I'm going to make this guy her father.
Yes.
You took that to mean, Mr. Toliver, that it was a potential that he actually was her biological father.
I believe it could be because, I mean, she said that he's the daddy. This is her true father, whatever. I mean, I have a message on Facebook here where he's claiming her as his little girl, you know.
This piece of evidence is what? A picture of?
That's the guy that she was seeing at the time with Novella, you know, as in claiming as his daughter.
My girl's already learning, laugh out loud. So let me ask you this. Do you believe that this gentleman is potentially Novella's biological father, or do you feel like this is just someone she's using to get back at you?
I don't know. It just seems to me like that's a very good chance that he is the father.
When you got pregnant, were you dating anyone else at the time?
No.
Did you call Mr. Toliver and tell him you were pregnant?
Yes, I did.
What was his response?
I called him when I was in the doctor's office, told him I was pregnant, and his basic response was, it was not his problem, it was my problem.
No, I asked her who the father was. That's what I told her. I said, you need to find out who the father is.
And what was the answer?
She said, well, it's mine. She said I was the father. But it's only when she's in a fight with her boyfriend or breaking up with a boyfriend does she come to me and want me back or this and that. And
is that true, Ms. Allen? Do you just come back around after you broke up with somebody?
No.
Do you consistently
press
and try to establish a relationship between Mr. Toliver and Novella?
Yes.
How have you done that?
I have constantly tried to get a hold of him. I've even asked if he wanted to come see her. And it's always, he's too busy. You don't have a way.
I don't have a driver's license. I can't just up and drive to Pelham, Georgia.
Mr. Toliver, have you ever met Novella? She's 2 now.
No, ma'am.
You've never met her?
Ma'am.
2 years.
I know, but I mean, if it was really mine, she would want to have this test done from the beginning.
It's just wrong I think it's just wrong to toss a kid around like that. She needs to find out who the real father is, and she should have done it in the beginning. That's how I feel.
I mean, if she would give me, you know, proof that I am the father, then it'd be totally different. But I can't just change my life because an ex-girlfriend calls and tells me I'm pregnant with your baby, so you're the father. You need to do this. And she says she don't want money or anything from me. She wants me to be in their lives, not just Novella's life, their lives. That's why I feel like she's trying to get me back by using the baby. Her ex-boyfriends, from what I understand, and the ones I've seen are losers, more or less. I have a decent job. I mean, I'm a pretty good guy. one of the better candidates that she's dated. And that's what I feel like that she is trying to use that as, use the baby as, well, you know. And I mean, I have a life. I can't change my life just to make her happy because this is what she wants.
So, Ms. Allen, I have to ask you this. In your court papers, you indicate that Novella has severe allergies.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons why you desperately want to find or have Mr. Toliver identified as her biological father. You need help.
Yes, I do need help.
Explain.
She has allergy problems. I'm constantly going back and forth to the doctors with her. She's allergic to just about anything you can be allergic to. Pecans, pine trees, oak trees, apples, rice, you name it, she's allergic to it.
There's no medical history of any kind of allergy problems in my family whatsoever, of anything. I mean, nobody in my family is even allergic to poison ivy. We got rid of the weed eater. And,
so wait,
I mean,
the fact that she has these allergies, I mean, this is financially and emotionally taxing on you, I'm sure.
Yes, it is.
And you're taking care of her and getting her back and forth to her doctor, all by yourself.
Yes, I am.
Your Honor, I want to get this test done. I want to find out. I mean, everybody needs to know. You know, I need to know. She needs to know. We need to know for the benefit of the baby. But it's, you know, it's never just being the baby's life. It's being our lives.
I never said being our lives because I don't want you in our life. I want you in our daughter's life.
You hear that, Mr. Toliver?
Yes, ma'am, and that's.
Do you believe that when she says it, or do you think
no,
she's
because
just?
I've been going through this for 2 years, on and off for 2 years, every couple months.
I've moved on. I don't want you in my life. I
And
want you in
Ms.
our daughter's
Bowl,
life.
you're in a relationship with Mr. Toliver?
Yes, I am.
And how do you deal with all this?
I mean, if it's not his daughter, so that's fine. But if it is his daughter, I'm gonna act, you know, be like a stepmom, I guess you could say. I'll take care of her, I'll make her happy, you know, like it's my child. So, I mean, but this has got to come to an end. Just figure everything out.
She's seen the message. She picked my phone up the other day and saw a message from Miss Allen saying how she missed me and loved me and wanted to be back with me and all this. It got me in trouble for it. I didn't even send a message, you know. She got mad at me for reading a message from her, and this.
Are you enjoying this a little bit, Mr. Toliver? You say you don't want it, but do you enjoy the fact that she can't seem to completely move on from you?
No, I would love.
Because you're
I would love her.
entertaining this a lot.
Well, I'm just trying to make my point here that she's using the baby to try to get back with me.
So in your court papers, one of your major pieces of doubt is that you say no one in your family has allergies.
None whatsoever.
I just have one question, though, and I'd like to speak to a medical expert we have here. Jerome, would you please escort Dr. Jamila Gator into the courtroom? I'd like to ask her a question or two about this allergy issue.
So I'm going to have you go up to the witness stand.
Okay.
Hi, doctor.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So, doctor, we are having a discussion concerning beautiful baby Novella's paternity.
Yes.
And we have heard testimony that suggests that she suffers from extreme allergies. Mr. Toliver contends he does not believe he can be her biological father. He says he doesn't have allergies. He says nobody in his family has allergies. And he says for this reason, he believes he could not be Novella's biological father. So I want to know from you, if a child is born first and foremost with allergies, does this cause further complications, asthma, things like this? Are these things you can trace to heredity?
Yes. So asthma is definitely related to allergies. About 65% of asthma is allergic asthma. And that happens when you breathe in air and then the body actually has an overreaction to it or a hypersensitive reaction and causes difficulty with breathing.
Okay. And so is this passed down through the families? Is this hereditary?
So it's interesting. Allergies and asthma are actually not genetic. What can be inherited and can be passed down is something called atopy. And atopy is basically the tendency of the immune system to overreact to things in the environment. So in Novella's case, we've got a list here where she's allergic to, you know, apples, pine trees, cat, oatmeal, eggs, all of these different things that she's allergic to. And the way that things are inherited, the parent per se, whether it's the father or the mother, isn't necessarily going to be allergic to those exact same things. So what can be passed on is just the tendency or the potential to have reactions, and that could be broad from allergies to asthma to eczema.
So it's hard for us to drop a thumbnail and say, oh, you know what? Because of these allergies, her father is...
Exactly.
We can't do that.
No.
That's what I needed to know. So, Mr. Toliver, your argument just went on out the window here with Dr. Gator.
My argument was the way she's been, not willing to do the DNA test.
But part of your argument was, too, that you don't have allergies and no one in your family has them.
Well, that's because she told me
your doubt.
that the baby had allergies and they had to come from my side of the family. I've told you I'm not sure how the allergy things work. But my reason for doubt is for 2 years now that we've been going on this DNA test and it's not happening. She won't do it. I mean, reason after reason.
The good news is this court has administered the DNA testing.
Yes,
and I have the results.
Oh.
Jerome? Thank you.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Allen versus Toliver, when it comes to 2-year-old Novella Allen, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Toliver, you are her father.
Okay.
Are you happy?
A little bit, yes, ma'am.
Just a little happy.
Well, I mean, I've always wanted a kid, but the other thing is that, I mean, now I want Rachel to understand this. I'm going to be in the baby's life, but, I know you said you're over me, but we're done with the going back and forth, okay? I mean,
Yeah, I'm in a serious relationship. I don't want you.
Okay, that's good. Just want to make sure we're on the same page on that. I mean, me and Brittany are going, we're trying to go somewhere with our relationship. She's going to be part of Novella's life too.
That's fine.
And,
But I mean, I don't really know who she is. This is my first time ever seeing her, so I'll have to get to know her.
That's fine. It's understandable. I wouldn't ask you to.
Okay, family, so we're going places.
Yeah.